How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we've got another race analysis for you. We are at Old Road here in Charlotte, North Carolina. This is the Tuesday night practice crit, and we're gonna have a little fun tonight. Real quick, guys, if you like all the videos and content you're seeing, please click that like and subscribe button. Really helps out the channel. All right, guys, we've been riding around for a little bit here. We've done a couple neutral laps. There was just a truck that pulled out in front of us right there, so everyone threw their hand up. We slowed down a little bit. I want to say that was like the first or second lap, so super early on in this ride, and it was a great time for me to kind of move up right there on the side, get in good position. We're all communicating to each other that, hey, we're all safe, we're ready to pick the pace back up. Well, during this ride, the weather was phenomenal. It was overcast, so there was a chance of rain. And spoilers, we are going to get a little bit of rain a little bit later in this footage, which affects my ride in particular. But moving up on the side here, and if you look way in the front cam, you see the guys getting out of the saddle and putting in a little attack. I recognized who those riders were, and I felt pretty threatened by this. And all the heavy hitters are really on the front. You know, they're really in the top like 10, 15 right here, and you've got to just watch it. I mean, look, they're going for it, but before we dive into that a little bit more, you'll check this section of the road is going to narrow up on us, and we're going to get a little bit of a construction right here. We'll take a screenshot. Boom. Look at that nice chunk of slab that they took out of the road for us, filled it up with some gravel. Well, we've got to ride around that the entire race. And it, you know, was kind of talked about at the beginning of the ride to don't attack right there, keep it smooth. You know, we don't want anybody to get hurt, blah, blah, blah. Well, goes to show you right there, like the leaders attacked right when we entered that corner and punched it, which smart on their part. I didn't mind it, and it really strung the field out. And we're running single file right here, going pretty hot. Nothing too fast from what we'll see here in the future, but it's just, you got to watch and be on lookout way ahead of you to make sure you're not getting gapped, or, you know, the guy in front of you is not losing a wheel. Well, you guys know I'm super motivated to make a break, and what better time to practice that than on like a Tuesday night practice crit. Well, look at this move right here on the right. I'm threatened by this. I'm like, oh snap, that could be the move of the race. I'm gonna go. We've got a couple guys like, you know, not willing to chase us down. They're kind of unsure. Well, I pounce on this, use their lack of momentum, and kind of maintain my speed to get around them and punch it to get through this work zone right here. It narrows up on us from left to right, so, you know, being on the front or in a break really just made it a lot easier to ride through there. And, you know, you're not going too wide with somebody or whatever, so putting a little dig, talking to the guys, letting them know what we've got going on behind us. And, you know, it wasn't even like a half a lap, you know, a quarter of a lap that we already just opened up a good, you know, 5-second gap. If you check the rear cam, you will see a small group of riders bridge up to us, but that is it. This is a good group of guys we've got here. It is, in my opinion, you know, all the heavy hitters that do this ride on a regular basis. It's really gonna be about, like, if you can survive the counterattacks that are gonna happen in this break. So super fun. That's all we're gonna get to see tonight in this video, is just me and how I learn to survive through this break and how I manage my fitness and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. We're all getting pretty organized right here, and it slows up just for a second. Right in this zone, I think just people were a little confused on where to rotate, which,
come on, work together.
It's not a big deal. You know, just starting to rotate through, so I think they cleared that up later in the break on how they wanted people to rotate. But it's fast, guys. It is super fast. My heart rate's already up to 180. It doesn't get too much higher than this, but I mean, I do what I can on these pulls. I want to contribute, but I also don't want to blow myself off the back, you know, 1 lap in, 2 laps into this breakaway. Check the rear cam. You know, it starts to give a gap right here, and I was not sure what was going on. Maybe it was some guys playing some tactics, trying to like intentionally blow off the group, and, break it up, because currently we've got like 16 riders, and, one of the riders that's in the back right there is extremely strong, and he could bridge this gap easily. Well, I have a gap opening up myself, and I don't want to miss this. Rider right here on the right chooses to let up a little bit. They punch it straight in front of me, and I'm like, oh no, like I want to be on this. I dig deep, try and close this thing down, and then look at the rear cam now. Those guys have ended up bridging it back up to us. So I believe it's about 10 of us. So there was just a little bit of cat and mouse going on there to kind of see who was willing to work and if they could blow any other guys off the back. So everyone's rolling through right here. I'm doing what I can to stay on a wheel. Anytime I would see a gap, I would do my best to charge through and close it down quickly as possible. This dude in the rear cam in the blue and the high vis shoulders, he kind of was like floating off the back the entire time, and you were never really sure if he was gonna drop or not, or if that's just the game he was playing. So instead of like me getting dropped because I rotate and go behind him, anytime I saw a gap, I'd make sure I'd follow back in line so I wouldn't lose a wheel. But right there, guy in the red kit that just went to the rear was letting us know, hey, keep the speed up for 2 more laps, and that way we can establish the break, and there'll be no chance for the peloton to catch us. I'm like, okay, like I can handle this for 2 more laps. Like I can survive this. I can rotate, I can pull through and contribute, and that's my goal. I want to catch one of these breaks, but guys, it's hard. The power, it's fluctuating right now on this stretch, but it was anywhere from like 270 to like 450 watts, depending on like what section of the course you're in. And with 10 guys, I'm coming to realize like that's probably just too many dudes in a breakaway to work efficiently together and smooth. And so you'll see some of these stronger guys really make it kind of punchy for us, and they want to eliminate us. They want to make it smooth for them, and they want to make as little guys as possible whenever we lap the field or go for a field sprint. They want minimal competition. I don't blame them. Guys are rolling through, doing pulls what they can, and I'm doing the same. I'm trying to be smooth, trying to be consistent, but it's hard for me because I'm not really in this position too often, so I don't know what's too hard or what's too soft, especially for Oral Road. I've taken a couple weeks and gone to Winston-Salem to do some of those criteriums up there. So, just getting familiar with this track and knowing on a all-out level like this for me on what speed I can carry and what watts I need to be pushing out. Right here, it gets a little congested. We're rolling through and stuff like that, trying to get organized. It got like that a couple times. Again, I think it's just because there's just too many of us. But right here, you can see I let a little bit gap open up. I'm trying my best to get in there. Hot fly rider sees there's a gap. What does he do? Boom, punches it right in, just like he should, because he doesn't know if I'm going to fall off or not. But we're rolling, guys. The peloton back behind us, they are probably running like 23 through this corner right now. It's like surgy. They're jockeying for position. Like, I don't know if any attacks are going off the front, but we're keeping the pace extremely high, and it is so hard for me. I'm letting a gap open up because I can't maintain that. This bicycle sport rider does a great job filing in, keeping the speed ramped up down this hill, giving me an elbow flick, punching me through, and helping me carry momentum to try and close this back up. But all it is the guys on the front are making it extremely tough for the rest of us, and they're punching in the power every now and then to spit people off the back. But we all do a really good job. About like 8 or 9 of us do a really good job of working together, being smooth, and being consistent. I think they were pretty surprised on how long it took them to punch us off. So I told you that one of the riders said, hey, 2 more hard laps and then we'll be able to establish the break. Well, I don't know if you guys have been counting. It's been like 4. All right. And it's extremely hard. And so I'm sitting there thinking, like, when is it going to slow down? Is it ever going to slow down? Is this just my life for the next, 40 minutes? Because this is I think tonight we had 50 minutes plus 2 laps or plus 5 laps. And so it's long. It's a long day in the saddle right here for me to do this effort. But it's fun, man. You're digging deep. You're trying your best. You're trying to stay on wheels. You want to contribute as much as you can without blowing up. So it is super fun. But you can see right here, it just gets a little confusing. Guys start skipping pulls or rotating weirdly, and what it does, it hurts me because I was in the back right there trying to rotate through. And again, I'm trying everything and doing everything I can to stay on this wheel. But yeah, this is what it looks like, and this is the experience I wanted, to get in a break and lap the field, establish something. This is going to be great training going forward for some Tuesday night crits up in Winston-Salem. Really going to help me, know how deep I can go on my efforts. But right here, look, one guy peeled off. He's done. Look at this gap I've got opened up. I'm running 26. They're running like 28, 30 right now. And then there goes the blue and the high vis kit. Just been sitting in the back the majority of the time. Not the entire time, but then he has enough juice to just like smash it up to him. So maybe I should have played my cards more like him. Unfortunately, that's me getting blown off the back of this super fast break. Hey, I tried. It was a good effort. It just wasn't my night. Unfortunately, here comes the Peloton. A couple laps later, they scoop me up, and I slot in, and I start recovering and stuff, and I'm just like realizing how easy it is back here, and how hard those guys up there are working, and it's just super impressive. So I slot in. I don't want to get too far back in this group. And the main goal right here for these next few minutes, I've just been like recovering, playing it safe, stuff like that. And that's kind of the rest of my day, is trying to recover so I can just compete for the little field sprint and see how I match up with some of these other really strong sprinters. But this construction zone was really chill, actually. Like once we started riding through it more and more, you could pedal through it like you see there, but it just narrows up. And I think it only got like kind of tight or sketchy, like the last 5 laps, because everybody's like really wanting to, jockey for position and go for a field sprint. But it was kind of just, known for this night, like, hey, just ride safe through that section. And so you can, we want everybody to be able to ride home tonight. So, but it is what it is. I'm back here now in the back, chatting it up with some teammates and some other buddies, just letting them know, like, hey, like that was pretty brutal. And I tried. And then what I've noticed is too is like we're back here, like from what the vibe I'm getting is like guys are just riding, like they're just riding around, like chilling. I don't really think there's too many team tactics going on in this thing, trying to like hold us back from catching the group, because we're not going to. It's not going to happen. But the speed was just so much slower, and like everyone was just super casual. I'm assuming that work zone just really like kind of just changed the vibe for tonight. Pushing onwards, guys. We are probably 35 minutes into this 50-minute plus 5 laps, and if you can see the road, you can see my camera, it's starting to rain. And here in Charlotte, it hasn't rained on this day. It hasn't rained probably in like a week and a half, 2 weeks. And you know what that means. Super slick roads. Oil is getting washed off. And so, right when it rains, it's going to be the slickest it's ever going to be throughout the ride. Well, I'm kind of floating back right here and just recovering and trying to gauge like how much rain we're going to get, and if it's just going to be like a torrential downpour or what, because when we started this ride, it wasn't supposed to rain at all. So it just sounds like a cell popped up. And if you guys watched last week's video, you know that I went down in the Spartanburg criterium for Speed Week. So I've already hit the deck once in like 7 days. So I'm just kind of taking it easy. I'm pulling a mulligan on this one, and like, what? I don't really feel like charging it or doing anything dumb to go down again and, risking some luck. But it's starting to rain a little bit more and more. And this is kind of it for me. This is my last little charge right here. Like, you can definitely tell guys are slowing down. The vibe is changing. The risk factor is definitely going up, and how much people want to, risk. So there's just a big gap. And right here when I enter this turn is like when it starts really raining hard, and I just did that effort, and so it was all for nothing. But this is my ride, guys. That's it. I'm gonna cut it after this, but if you want to see a perspective of the field sprint later on, it does stop raining, with like 15 minutes to go. So the road dries, I hop back in, and if you want to see a perspective of that, I'll link to one of our buddies' videos, and you guys can check that out. But other than that, guys, appreciate it for watching. Catch you on the next one.